Okay, well, the weather is fabulous. This is Levanto Harbour, and I was just going to have a quick walk around here before we then go for lunch. So as we go over there, we should be able to see Portofino, which is just around the corner, which is probably where we'll be going for lunch. We'll see. Ja. So this achingly beautiful little village here is Portofino, and it's so beautiful that even Ferrari named a car after it. It is absolutely spectacular. And this is February, this is the beginning of February. It's warm, we've had lunch outside. We're going to go and have an ice cream somewhere, over there somewhere, I guess. No, there's a gelateria, we'll see if it's open. It's fabulous. So I'm going to turn the camera around, show you properly, and then we'll catch up once I've got my ice cream. Okay, well, good morning and welcome back. It is now Wednesday morning. Shutter number 1 is still on, but I picked up some better screws and other bits so I can finish that up. Shutter number 2 is still down here, clamped up, so I'm going to hold it up and test it right now. So there we go. The finish on this one is much better than it is on the other one, admittedly, but both fine. So time to trim off the top to get them leveled up and get some hinges on this as well. We should be pretty good to go. So I'm going to use those hinges as markers, so the distance from the edge. I'm going to drill my holes, and then once I've drilled my holes I'm going to cement everything up because I don't want to drill into my new cement and break it. So that's basically the plan. Hinges, trim, and get it hung. Okay, so again, it's done pretty much the same thing as on the other side, but I think if I'd cemented it up and then tried to drill through it, would have done exactly the same. So I'm going to get them hung so that they're straight. I also bought the wrong one there, so I'm going to pick up another one, but the holes are still the same, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to trim it, line it all up, and once everything's lined up, I'll get some bits of wood, and I'll mix up the cement, and we'll backfill all of that as best as possible. And I'll probably use the cement, it's white cement, to do the bottom as well, the window ledge. So yeah, get the circular saw out and trim this down. There we are, they're both more or less hung. It's now going to be time to cement back, fill up the holes and try and get everything straight, but they're basically pretty good. Looks fine. They close well. I've trimmed this, so once all of this has been pressure washed down and sanded a bit and painted, I think they'll look fabulous. But while everything's lined up, see that one's wobbling about, I need to somehow fix that with something else, but I've got my holes in the right place, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, I'm going to mix up some cement, get some planks and try and build like some sort of shuttering to hold that in place. I hear the compressor going in the background. I'm just going to try and get rid of all of the dust so that the cement has something to adhere to. I will be making it wet. There we go, much better. Down in the cellar I found some abandoned, for good reason, tongue and groove. These were used everywhere in Europe. I don't know about North America, but certainly everywhere in Europe as what the French call cache-misère. So to hide bad walls or something. In France I saw this a lot. They do an entire room inside with this. And it would hide the mold or the bad plaster or whatever. This was the great 80s way around things. So we'll have none of that here. But what I'm going to do is put some together. We're going to put some down here and then up on the sides of here so I can kind of pour in as best as I can and try and get all of those gaps filled up nicely. Okay, so more elegant things have been done, but it'll probably hold. So I'm going to tidy up and then I'm going to mix up my cement. What we'll be using, 5 kilos for fixing inside and out. White cement, 52.5 resistance, so that should be plenty for shutters and what have you. So I'm just going to go and get some water in a bucket, mix it up. That's the window ledge, that looks fine. And up here, the sides are filled, they're backfilled. So once they come off, I'll mix up a tiny little bit more thick, really thick, and fill out the little holes at the top of the shuttering. But now it's just a question of leaving it like that for a few hours, or probably now until tomorrow, and then putting everything back together, hopefully. So it's been a couple of hours and it's set quite well. So I'm going to take off these bits of wood. I'm going to start at the bottom and see how it goes. Hopefully that'll speed up the drying process. So take off one side and the other side. Drop it down on this. That should. Let's see how far down we got. Okay, well, so we didn't get all the way down there. So I can fill that out. But what we did do is get a nice solid bit there, and that is now actually already pretty hard. So I'm going to keep going, undo those screws, and I'll show you in a second because I'm going to need both hands to do that, what it looks like. Okay, so wait for it. That's the bit we left at the top, so it's not fabulous there, but it's not too bad over here. For some reason I didn't seem to knock it down, so I'm going to have to mix some more and backfill that. I've got to fill up the holes at the top anyway, and up here. So I'm going to get rid of everything that I didn't want. I'm going to mix up some slightly thicker and use it a bit more like plaster and see if I can get this looking a little bit smarter than it does. Oh, oops. Okay, well, good morning and welcome back. Yesterday was a cheat day. As you saw, we went to the aquarium in Genoa, which is, I think, the biggest aquarium in Europe, they claim. So I'll take their word for it because it is huge. It's sort of half on a boat, half on the pier. It's very nice, and I can highly recommend it, especially if you have kids. So that kept the kids occupied yesterday. But today we're back on the important stuff. And because it's not going very quickly here, today really is going to be a bit of a push. I'm going to start by mixing up cement, filling in the little gaps that weren't filled properly. So I'm going to make some pretty thick cement. At the same time, I'm going to use some of it down here on these posts, the posts that I fitted. So that'll be sealed. And then once I've done that, I'm going to completely empty the terrace because all of this stuff is just in the way. It's driving me mad So some of it will go straight into the sorting area, I call that, which is where I throw most of the rubbish before I get the trailer, and then sort it straight into the trailer, because I have to take it to 3 different places. So that's a bit of a pain, but that's the way it is. And the rest will have to go into cellars around the place, and I'll just leave what I need really for here, which will be a bucket, some plastering stuff, and the plaster, and everything else can go. The shutters are the right size, so that's fine. I've got some little what's-its to hold the shutters in place, so I'll have to drill those holes as well. But first, I'm just going to mix up some cement and get going, filling up that and down here. I put a little bit more of an edge on those 2 steps to hold the bar in properly. Hopefully that'll be okay. And down here, every time I have a little bit left over, you can see there's a bit there. I sort of try and fill out some hole here on the front to stop water going down into the stones. So I'm just tootling along. I've gotten the last little bits of wood out of there, and all of the nails. All of the other nails are pretty much out, except the 1 or 2 that have bent and broken over. That'll be fine. And started sweeping up and clearing. So I'm going to keep these pots here, but most of the rest of it will just go down. Get this bed into the cellar. The more it's been stood outside, the more you can see that someone's actually painted stripes on it, or it was perhaps wrapped at some point with some sort of ribbon. Not sure. I doubt it actually. It looks like it was painted there. Something special. So yeah, no, it's just keep going, get all of this out. Now that it's all kind of pushed over there, it looks terrible, but once it's all gone, I can get on and plaster up, because that's really what I need to do today and tomorrow, is get everything plastered up. And I would like to get the pressure washer out, but that's looking less and less likely, unfortunately. Okay, so I've started. I got some tools left, but I got rid of the bed, I got rid of the loo, I got rid of a lot of the stuff that was lying around here, and all of the pile up in this corner. But I've mixed up some more, because that can be done drying while I'm tidying. So I'm going to keep going on this wall here, up at the top, get that nice and clean down here, and then we'll see how much is left. Well, we're starting to make progress now. That looks pretty good. I think that'll probably be it for there. Getting up little detailed corner bits. This wall looks better. It's perhaps not quite finished up at the top. That'll do, as will that. So yeah, no, really looking good. So now another hour of tidying and then another hour of plastering and so on until we get to a stage where we can move on to the next step. Okay, well, there's yet another bucket over there. The first layer over there, that'll need doing over again, but it was sprayed on. You remember the staircase was up there, so there was nothing there. Finished up here. That'll need smoothing as well, but hopefully just with a bit of water and sandpaper. Another bit on the column to make it rounder down here and all along the wall down there. So we are getting closer and closer. It's now time for another bit of a clean. Okay, so I've got my product here. This is now, I melted those down and just hammered them down a little bit. So they're sat where they're supposed to go. This is, it neutralizes rust and stops more rust from rusting. And then you can paint over it in 2 hours, but I won't be painting over it in 2 hours, but what I will do is just spray it on. It's, I think it's transparent actually, but we'll just have a quick spray round and that'll stop this from rusting or from surface rust building while it's now been stripped off. So it's not even a rattle can, it's just a normal can. I was expecting a rattle can. Oops. Well, that's all done. I think that'll be fine. So this leaves a little bit of a red, sort of, I think that'll go away. We need to power wash everything anyway. But that'll stop it from rusting underneath the paint that we put on, because I wasn't going to hammerite it. So yeah, I'm going to keep tidying. I'm going to start tidying again rather, and then I shall probably, hopefully, manage to get another bucket of plaster mixed. If I can do that, then I can maybe go over that again, but it's probably too early. In fact, I probably shouldn't rush it. I should probably wait till tomorrow now. So no excuses for not tidying everything up then, in that case. Going along, I've just been making everything more or less right. So I put all of the hinge bolts in. So these shutters are now permanent fixtures, which is good news. I put these little, what it sits on to stop them flapping about too much, although they do still flap about a bit. This seems to be designed for shutters that are enormously wide, enormously thick rather. But other than that, everything works well. That's drying up nicely, so again, same story. I'm going to keep shifting more and more stuff into the bin bit and to where they belong. But, I mean, over here it looks pretty good so far. So we're getting there, slowly but surely we're getting there. And I think these shutters, to be honest, once they're sanded down and painted blue, the same as the door, they'll look great. And eventually, those ones down there will be reworked and they'll go up against that door. And then, and this is the great advantage, you can have your midday siesta when it's boiling hot outside with the windows open and the shutters closed. That's the theory, at least. So there we go. But no, it's slowly, very slowly coming together. Obviously, cheat days and things don't help too much, but we're definitely getting there. So I'm a happy chappy. Still lots of little bits of plastering and what have you to do. So if I can get all of this shifted now, within the next 20 minutes, I'll make another bucket of plaster and spread it around various bits that I've missed or that need going over again. Staircase was these terrazos were pushed up and they are pretty damaged around here from the staircase. There are holes and other problems. I thought I'd show you just what's underneath them. I mean, they really are, there's nothing underneath them. They were just set on, well, on earth. This really is just, so, I mean, even though it's not, there's nothing there, this is mud basically. So, so they've probably been here for a little while. I haven't finally decided on what to do, because the old terracotta ones I wanted seem to be extremely expensive. So what I'm going to do is try and just make it cleanable, or halfway cleanable. So even though they are slightly broken, a lot of them, I'm just going to try and lay them out and get them as flat as possible. We'll see. I think that's probably going to be quite hard to get them flat, but I shall get them as flat as possible, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, well, after a fair bit of faffing about, there's no way these are going to go in properly. So, few solutions. One is to take everything up and then to lay it again from one end to the other end, and change out those that are broken, which are a few. It looks like they were just laid without any dilation space at all. So over time, everything shifted and they've just pushed up against each other. And where there was the weak point is there where the staircase came down. And they just pushed up there all the way across. So, well, I'm going to have to go and see at a reclamation yard or somewhere. I did find one, as I mentioned. I'm going to have to look, see what I can find, see if I can find something nice that goes with the house, and would look good up here, because I know a lot of you are going to hate me for saying this, but I'm not such a great fan of Terrace. So we have it in the bedroom, the red, but perhaps we'll find something older that would be in fitting that was on here before, and something that would then match up with perhaps the terrace down there later on. So I'm going to get rid of all of this tut here, and then we'll see how we do. Okay, well, I don't think any of you will have seen it like this before, because there was stuff stocked out here, well, even when I bought the house. And obviously there was the staircase that took out this whole area here, which is a big chunk of it, because it's not such a huge terrace, but it is a lovely terrace with that beautiful view, and now this beautiful lighting, if I may say so myself. So so I'm pretty happy with that. It's a shame about that. I don't know what to do with the floor yet. Looks like there's a secret trapdoor under there, but there isn't. It's just dust and mud like everywhere else. I'm going to get another bucket, and I'm going to make up a little bit of plaster for here. Finish up that corner there, and then I'll have to tidy up everything that I just chucked downstairs for now. But there isn't that much compared to what was on here, so it's pretty good. But I think I've got enough time for another quick bucket load. So you can hear the bells in the background telling me stop working, but I've still got a little bit left to do, so I'm just relayering this. There's only a tiny bit left in the bucket there, but basically it's not looking bad. I've done here as well now, and that corner there, and the bottom. So yeah, no, really looking good. I've still got to build up a little bit more on that corner there, but no, it's very good. Okay, well, that really is going to be it for today's video. Got a fair bit done again, so I think we've got a bit more to do. Well, another few buckets of plaster probably, to be honest, because there's no point in rushing it and then it looking terrible and then having to go over things again. So a few more buckets of plaster, and then really good long hard pressure wash, and then it'll be time to paint. So the white should be pretty easy to do, I think. It'll be all the finishing afterwards that'll take time with the brush, I guess. So yeah, but I think it's definitely worth the effort. Let me think. Let me know what you think about how we're doing so far. I think the shutters are there. They look good. Everything looks good. I mean, it's hard for me, I guess, because it's a bit of tunnel vision here. I'm not looking at much else, and because I'm so in love with this house, even when it's full of cracks and falling down, I think it's beautiful and wonderful. So yeah, I'm a bit biased, but I do think that it's beginning to look more and more like a proper villa, and more and more like a house that somebody cares for and that somebody wants to spend time in. So yeah, well, once again, thank you very much for your comments. Thanks for watching. I'm going to do a video tomorrow on a general update, once through everything, and an update on the eco bonus and an update on well, pretty much everything else, my life in general. And so I hope that will be of some interest to you, and there'll probably be some building coming up pretty soon as well. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, and bye bye for now.